So that is what the back of the van looks like. So just briefly, this is a Flex TW75. These are old African Outback drawers. That company is now known as Big Country. This is pretty much just a random place to put extra camping gear, but as you see it now is how we roll for a day trip or a weekend away. That front runner box is our dry food. Inside here, these two compartments are obviously generally for longer trips where we will keep more food, so that's basically the pantry. Behind that is insect spray, peaceful sleep, tabard, mosquito stuff, just randoms. There's sunscreen, there's creams. That pouch is my recovery gear. I've got lights, a UV lamp, I have a Makita 18-volt impact wrench. This side is all the kitchen stuff. Again, depending on the length of the trip, depends on how full it is. For these sort of trips we don't run it very full, keep it very simple. Up here is a very comprehensive tool roll with the electrical repair kit. There's a Victron smart charger, my brush. This is basically empty underneath there. Underneath this side here is ratchet straps, tie downs, storm straps, extra stuff. Behind that is tire repair kit, Silky, Katana Boy, saw. There's a set of log tongs, storm pegs, and obviously here's my water tank hose, which runs on a 12-volt pump. The water tank is behind there. That water tank is a 50-litre upright front runner tank. This mess here is first aid kit. There's a gas bottle, extra sleeping bag, my end deflate, few more tools. There's a proper socket set underneath there, more stuff here, a couple more kitchen things, cutlery plates, paper plates, tea, coffee, all that. This is going to have a big canvas storage bag made here, which means all of this will be packed properly. Here's my MPPT. I use a Victron, so I've got Bluetooth display. It's just the basic 100-volt 20-amp unit. It can go up to 48 volts. This is a 12-volt system. Then there's a DC-DC, 160-litre compressor, and underneath all of that is my lithium battery. I have a 100 amp hour lithium battery. My DC is 30 amps and my solar is 20 amps, so I can put in a maximum of 50 amps at any given time, provided everything runs perfectly. Over here, two front runner chairs, a wash up basin, extra little fold out stool, step, whatever you want to call it, my dustpan and my bra. There's a drop down table, 1500 watt inverter, my axe. On the door is my spade. I have a shower cube, I have tread recovery boards and a roof rack. Yeah, that's very basic right now in the van. It is not ultra fancy. That tire is far flatter than it should be. Need to look at that. Nothing ultra fancy. I think this is an ARB front bumper. I took out all this stuff here. I put my own LED spotlights in there, wired them separately so I can switch them on when I want to. I've got two 9-inch Hella Supernovas there, and I run a Randva 11,000 pound XP winch, which in my opinion is the very best winch available in South Africa. In the engine, 3.2 5-cylinder diesel, 195,000 k's on the clock, 9 years old. I've run a secondary fuel filter in here, so I got a diesel pre-filter. I run a snorkel, which doesn't do a hell of a lot. Don't believe what they say it does. It hardly does anything. And what else? Oh, I've got a free flow exhaust with a very small box on it that dumps just in front of the rear diff. 76mm downpipe, 63mm straight pipe with a small performance box. That's it. Oh shit, there we go. And LU cab shadow on 270-degree awning, the very best addition to the rig that I fitted last year. I love this thing, it's worth every cent. Righto, so what I'm planning on doing now is quickly whipping up some lemon and herb chicken for lunch. So for all of those of you who are going to have something to say about the fact that I'm handling chicken with my hands, save it. And I have water and soap, and I'm perfectly capable of washing my hands. Oh, soft sand. You're driving in the dark, not bad, eh? Well driven. Nice. Decided to go on a bit of a night drive. I've collected 2 other campers that were camping here as well. They've joined us. Oh, we're having a bit of fun. It is so nice to drive my van with a bit more confidence now that I've got a brand new original drive shaft in there. That's such a good picture, boy. Well done. This is the third and final summit of our trip. This is the Motherland summit. Sounds like motherland, but it's actually called Motherland because before the floods, at the bottom of the summit was a stretch of about 80 meters where they had dug a mud pit, and it was quite a spectacle to watch the guys crossing that mud pit, and it was named the Motherland. But after the flooding, that was all washed away, and now it's just rocks. But the summit remains. It's a longer drive than the Sunset Summit, similar length to the Aloe Summit, with quite a few steep sections. They did tell me this morning, excuse me, that they haven't been right to the top of the summit for a while, and they're not sure how the condition of the road is, so I've offered to go up there and have a look and let them know. So what I do for climbs like this is I'll leave the van in low range, even though it's not at this point really needed, but it allows me to stay in second gear with the aircon on, and I mean the revs just sit between 1,500 and 2,000, and it's not laboring, it's not struggling, and I've got full control of the vehicle. It's rocky, eh? They've had a lot of washaways here. Sure. I need to get one of those fancy Garmin GPSs that give me the incline, because you're driving in the car and I'm filming like this, I don't get out and do the fancy cinema bucket, what's that word? I don't get out the car and do the fancy cinematic shit, and I just hold the camera like this and talk while I drive, and you can't ever get the full understanding of how steep something is. So this is the third and final summit. Very overgrown, lots of bush rash to get here, but yeah, what a view. So now we're gonna make our way back down. Very tight in here, a lot of trees, a lot of sharp turns, quite difficult to maneuver. Obviously, with the car being packed with all the stuff, we have to be very careful not to rip anything off. One thing I've noticed that I'm not particularly fond of is this thing takes an absolute thrashing when you're driving through stuff like this. It really doesn't do too well with the trees and such. Yeah, so what we're trying to do now is obviously avoid the awning. It's trying to run free. You're the right way. This is what I was discussing earlier about having an incline gauge. We're at the top of this hill now. You can see straight through the windscreen, and the hill just dumps down in front of us. Right, so that was the last little bit of our weekend. We are making our way back home. So if you are still watching, thank you. we'll see you on the next one.